everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Real Podcast. I'm your host, David Moya. Today we have Karen Hickman with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty on the show. Karen, thank you for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
So Karen is an achiever. She is a top performer. She's on the 1,000 list, top 1,000 in USA in 2019. She's four-year winner of the San Diego Circle of Excellence Gold Award and San Diego Business Journal number 26 individual agent in San Diego County for 2019. You are crushing it, Karen.
I'm just working hard. And, those really aren't, first of all, accolades and all those little things, that's not what matters.
Sure.
Just what matters is that we've got, a good business and that we're happy in our business and we have happy buyers and sellers.
I love it. And that's why you have those. See, the accolades don't come before that, right? The accolades come after you do all the right things. And you're right. It's not about that. It's much deeper than that. It's about the people. And I know you know that I know that. It's just cool to show because you worked hard, and it's important to give you some props and some kudos for that. But Karen, let's talk about the journey. What got you into real estate to begin with?
Wow. Well, okay. I was still living in Texas. I've been here in San Diego now 31 years. And I was actually in a different career in Texas, but back in the late 80s, the economy in Texas, and kind of all over started, but Texas was hit really hard. It started really turning. And I started dabbling in real estate there. And then before I knew it, a girlfriend kind of on a whim called me and said, you should move out here. And I'd been out here to her wedding. And that was the only time I'd ever been here. And I said, okay. And I moved. Within a few months, I was here. I had rental property back there. I had my own home back there. And I just rented it out kind of on a professional basis to an individual. And I never looked back. Here I am 31 years later.
Wow. Well, it's great. It's great you moved out here. You've been helping a lot of people since you moved out here. Such a great story that you have. So let's talk about your history, rather your success, right? So your volume, your team, your consistency within the last 31 years or so. How long have you been doing real estate?
31 since I landed here. Literally, I got here in probably, I don't know, maybe it's 31 years ago this month, August 1st, 1988. So that's a long time.
Wow.
Probably before some of these people were born. But
I love it.
It didn't start out, trust me, there were no teams back then. I think Mike Ferry was really the only coach and some other people, long timers. But I didn't really know what I was doing, and I knew no one. I knew one person, two people when I moved here. And it didn't start off successfully. I mean, I tripped and fell many times. It took several years for me to kind of get my feet wet. But what I did do, and what I suggest for anybody else that's new in the business, is I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. I'll put it like this. I'm independent. I didn't have anything to fall back on. I had to make this work. A secret is I really didn't want to go back to Texas because I liked it here and I loved the weather, and I could walk on the beach and it was free and it was beautiful, and I'd never lived near a beach before. So I just had to make it, and it took some time. But again, just day by day, there were weeks I'd work 40, 50 hours a week. And I think my very first year, which was 1989, I think I made $9,000. So, most other people would probably quit.
Right.
But I just said, I'm going to keep at it.
Hey, well, if you made $9,000, that means you can make another number. You just have to, continue, right? And that's the thing.
Now we're doing it. Now we're doing it consistent. I mean, and again, I'm not saying I'm a high end, super high volume producer, but what I am now is I'm very consistent. We're doing about 30 million a year, our volume every year, and and it's just me. I'm the only producer. I have a wonderful, amazing full time office manager. Nicole, who's been here now going on about 6 years. We work together well. I've got a few other people that help me, even personally, that's not business.
Sure.
So I've got a good team around me, so that I pretty much do just focus on my real estate business.
Yeah, and because you have such a great team and you have that right mindset, you've been able to, do 30 million a year for the last 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. And there were some other years that were good volume years, up and down, but we're pretty consistent now, and we like to keep it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I go more, it's not going to upset me, but I'm also not going to kill myself to do any more. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you have to approach it with an individualistic way, kind of like your best, what you're best at, and what number you like, and what number feels right, that allows you a balanced life. So I think that's great. In terms of your passion, right? So your passion for people, I see it. Like I said, earlier on the pre-production call,
right?
We saw you in your element at your client appreciation event in La Jolla, and it was really cool to see, because that was the first time I was at one of your parties, and I could see that was like, that's what drew you into real estate. Would you say that's your passion behind what you do, the people?
I've always had it in me. Customer service, a giving nature. I'm very social. So I like being around people. I really do. I mean, I sort of thrive on it. I like helping. I love serving. And yes, when you did that party, that was a party I did at the La Valencia Hotel a couple of years ago. And that was sort of just a thank you party, even though it was holiday time. Right. It was a thank you party, because I'd also been involved in some charities, and a lot of those people that were there had supported me and helping me raise funds. And then I had my clients there as well. So, we had a good turnout, and it was really fun to treat them all, and to see them all, and to have a lovely dinner and drinks, and for you to be there to film it for me. And thank you again. I love the results of that. And it was just a great time. But yeah, it was, I felt good being able to say thank you to everybody in that way.
Yeah, no, I could see that. And I know you and I talked earlier about this too. Right now, it's challenging for us our type of people. We are, I think by nature, drawn to people. We get energy from being around people. So right now with COVID and all this, it's been a little challenging, to just kind of operate, because you're so used to, interacting and touching and, being present, so.
This whole COVID thing, the first couple of weeks, it threw me for a loop. I went from going 100 miles an hour a day to like 8 miles an hour a day. But I think everybody, adapted. Now we're pretty much business as usual. We're, I think anybody listening to this call will know that has experienced the market's really increased. And yeah, it's just back to business as usual, but with this and our wipes, our sanitizer and everything else that we have to deal with, and booties and signing these forms, we have to it's a little more effort.
Sure.
And but we're all getting it done.
Yeah, and you're still, I would say that you're very busy, very, very busy right now. So draw me a picture, or paint me a picture if you can right now. What's your current situation? You said your business as usual, but the market's really hot, right? So what does that look like?
It really is. Well, I think price is still important. Yes, homes that are priced right are pretty much flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
Although I've had my first 2 appraisals come back, and this is the first time in probably, I'm serious, 10 or 12 years. I never have appraisal problems, because I'm one of these agents that believes in providing the appraiser with what they need, helping them, giving them the floor plan, giving them the comps, really giving them to help them do their job easier. I had 2 last Saturday come back, and I was just like, uh-oh. One we worked through real easy with the agent. We both negotiated and came together. The second one I'm still kind of having issues on, but I've turned around and showed the property just one more time and already have another offer. So, you know, we'll get it worked out. But
sure.
Yes, we've got, you know, a decent listing inventory right now, and we've got we've got several pendings. We've closed a couple in the last 2 or 3 days, and you know, I'm putting in some long hours right now, really long hours, and so is the goal.
So would you say that the market right now is reflected or is the way it is due to rates and pricing and potentially the pandemic?
I think it's sort of all of those things combined. Interest rates have been very low. I think there was a pent-up demand because everybody was stuck in place for a while. And I do think it gave people time to think about, what do I really want? Am I comfortable in my own home? I think people were spending so much time in their homes. I think they either realized they loved them or they didn't. And so all of a sudden, when it kind of got okay to get back out, people started looking at homes. And what's great is homes are online, so it gave them something to do. And I mean, I even had dinner with a lady just, I don't know, 10 days ago. We went, you know, to an outdoor restaurant, and sure enough, she's realizing that she's kind of stuck in her house. She's a woman a little older than I am. And I think she wants to be more in town, and where she can walk places, and where she can walk to a restaurant, and where she can be somewhere where she's maybe closer to her friends. So sure enough, I've written a contract up for her. We've already found her a place. We put her home on the market. And this all came from just a discussion at dinner.
Wow.
And people are realizing some things right now.
Sure.
And they're making changes in their lives.
Yeah, I have had several conversations where it's also the opposite, right? So somebody is in town, let's say in the city, and they realize, you know, I'm working from home. I don't need to be in the city. I want to, you know, go out, you know, to the ranch, or I want to go further where I can find more land and then have a pool, or, you know, have a space for my kids to homeschool or have, you know, virtual learning. So I'm seeing a lot of this just movement.
It's funny that you say that, because yes, that's definitely happening. We're seeing that all over the United States. And I know a gal that you know, Kimberly Cole, who also works at Sotheby's. I was just looking at her Facebook post, I think it was this morning, and she's selling all these homes with huge acreage, you know, horse property, another one that backs up to this, you know, huge forest park, you know. So I was looking at that going, yeah, you know, people are definitely making changes in their lives right now.
Yes.
So, as horrible as this situation is, I mean, and it truly is nothing any of us expected, and it's very, very sad. It has created, though, some opportunities, and for us to reflect, and for people to reflect, to see what's really important in their lives, and to them and their families, and even as individuals. So, yeah, again, people are making changes.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's a very interesting time because you're seeing a bit of transformation, right? There's a lot of change going on, and a lot of different events are happening, and you know, you're seeing people change, you're seeing people move. There's a lot of people leaving California. There's a lot of people coming into California, and it's an interesting time. And I think we are in an industry that we're in we're in a position where we can help a lot of people you know, find that next home that's going to make more sense for them. You know, and so that's super cool. Look, so you're a success. In my book, and I know in a lot of people's book. What do you feel that you can attribute that success to?
Seriously, I have a strong work ethic. I have worked since I was very young, and pretty much all my businesses or everything I've done has been around in some way, shape, or form customer service or serving the public in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just drawn to people. I enjoy people. I like people.
Yep.
I'd like to say I don't have any enemies. I'm sure I do. but I will say this, for whatever reason, most everybody that I meet, I like. I mean, I try to find the good in everyone. Yeah, there's a few people that rub me the wrong way, but that's not my nature. My nature is to serve. And but again, I'm okay with the late nights. You know, yes, do I wish I had more time off? Is my life perfectly balanced? Absolutely not. And I think that's something that every single realtor struggles with. I don't think, I mean, there's probably some out there that have the perfect solution. I don't. You know, I've never found it. I don't know that I ever will. But for now, I just keep, you know, I get up every morning, and what you need in this business is to be self-motivated. You know, I get up every morning with a desire to come back and do this.
Yes.
And finish where I left off yesterday, and to get my buyers and sellers, you know, in places where they want to be.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, your passion for it, like we talked about earlier, your success, all that. The people who know you, they know how authentic you are, and I think that is what people are drawn to. You know, because you really care, you really show up, and so anyway, we've been fortunate because we've been able to work with you from time to time. But in your journey, you know, obviously you've had a journey to get where you're at now. What would you say that you discovered along the way that maybe you weren't aware of prior to getting into real estate, that you're like, wow, okay, this is, you know, this is not what this aspect of the business is different than what I thought?
Oh my gosh, when I first decided, okay, I'm going to sell houses. That's what we all think. Oh, we're going to sell houses. Holy cow, that is so far. I mean, yes, you're selling houses and you're putting buyers and sellers together. But this is a multifaceted business.
Yep.
It is a business that has many moving parts. You know, you do have many irons in the fire, or we sometimes call them pillars, going on all at the same time. And I mean, once anybody starts making some money, you've got to pay attention to that. It's like money in, money out. And as a realtor, you've got your marketing materials, you've got your advertising, you know, or whatever you do, you spend your money on online, whatever. But what I would tell anybody is, as soon as you're starting to make a little money, number one, get a bookkeeper, because I mean, I'm ashamed to admit it. I probably only got a bookkeeper maybe 10 or 12, maybe 13 years ago. But I went half my business without even having a bookkeeper. I mean, I did my taxes and things like that, but you need to know every single month what's coming in and what's going out, and you need to learn to pay yourself first. I mean, seriously. I mean, because you're not in this to work for free.
Yeah.
You've got to be putting money away for yourself every single month. I don't care how little it is. And I didn't do that the first few years. I could barely survive my first few years.
Sure.
And but as soon, you know, as you can, you've got, I don't care if it's $50 a month, you've got to pay yourself first. And then, okay, bookkeeper, get a good CPA. If you start making money, you've got to incorporate, because that will help you with your taxes.
Sure.
Please check into that. And then also, for anybody new, back when I was new, we didn't have teams, really. There were no teams.
Yeah.
And so I sort of learned to work independently, and I still do. I don't really want to manage a lot of people, but I would say for anybody new, there's plenty of books out there. Listen to podcasts, listen to motivational things, get your morning routine down, whether it's doing your gratitude, your affirmations, meditating, because I'm a real type A personality. I probably spent 20 minutes this morning meditating. That helps me. I mean, as you can tell, I've got a lot of energy, but it helps me keep a calmer demeanor when I'm on the phone, and when clients are upset. You know, it's up to me to try to calm them down if a situation arises. I can't get caught up in their drama or their excitement, but it might be a good idea for someone new in the business to look and see who's out there, and maybe join a team and learn from other people who are successful. I didn't have a mentor, and I think I probably would have saved some years and been successful maybe a little bit faster had I maybe looked for some of those things early on.
Now, do you mind, and you can be totally honest, because I know for some people their morning routine is very personal, so just tell me the truth, but would you mind sharing kind of what that looks like?
Oh, no, absolutely. And it's changed over the years. You know, we all change and everything evolves. I mean, I probably started meditating maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago. And there's all these apps now that you can put on your phone. So you can meditate from 3 minutes to 20 to 30 to 40. I'll never get to the 30 morning. Who knows, maybe one of these days when I have more time off. But, you know, 5 to 20 minutes is great. I try to exercise 3 to 4 mornings a week. I'd like to say 5 right now, but because the market's just been so busy, and I will say too, I personally made a move through COVID. I was one of those who decided I wanted something else. And that was just, oh my gosh, a total wrecker of my time, but I made it. And I could say I'm kind of camping out at my new house now. But, you know, morning exercise routine, morning, even gratitudes, even if it's just 5 gratitudes, I do. And, you know, and sometimes I do affirmations, sometimes I don't. I'll get on a kick of doing them for a while, and then I'll get off. But I have to tell you, this is a real mindset business. Your mindset is everything. So you have to be in a good place. I've even done some, you know, Tony Robbins things and gone to a couple of, you know, I did the Walk on Fire thing and which is really cool. I mean, when you think about it, it's like, I did that. Yeah, it was not a big deal.
I'm a fellow.
All mindset, you know, because there were people there that burned their feet. It's all mindset. And I think if anything, he does that to prove to you how strong your mindset can be if you put your mind to it. And that's the state they get you in. So that kind of leads up to your morning routine.
Sure.
You know, move your body, listen to some uplifting music, you know, after you do your gratitudes and have your meditation. I mean, it's all that really is important.
Mindset is a huge thing for me. I love diving into self-development. I'm a fellow fire walker as well. And I will be honest, I was sitting there, you know, Tony Robbins, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do that. I don't need to prove to Tony anything. Like, you know, like I'm fighting it. And I did it because I, you know, deep down inside, I knew I wanted, you know, to prove that to myself and to be committed, right. To move into commitment or with commitment into my next stage in my life. And anyway, that's off on a tangent there, but I love where you're at with that. Your morning routine is so crucial. It's so important. You know, I have 2 girls. I have a 3-year-old and a 9-month-old, and that morning routine that I used to have was really sharp, you know, 3 years ago. And now it's like every day I just try to piece it together as best as I can.
Right. And then sometimes maybe you just need to do it at a different time. What I'm finding now is that, you know, again, I think COVID has, you know, it's more people are a little more stressed and a little more on edge.
Sure.
And as I'm going through my very fast-paced day, sometimes I need to catch myself because I'm getting caught up in something that's upsetting or something's not going right. And then I need to I've had to remind myself of this many, many times. Sometimes I just need to sit down and breathe, really deep breathe. And I have to visualize my heart. And I visualize breathing into my heart and being more heart-centered, so that I can go back to love and kindness and gratitude and serving, instead of being in the fear or in the stress of the day.
Yeah, I'm taking notes here. I don't know if you see that, it's coming up on the thread there, but that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, because that is important. We all get in our routine, our normal routine, not even just our morning routine, and we can get a little sidetracked, and we have to bring ourselves back emotionally to that centering place where we can serve better.
Absolutely. It's so easy to get caught up. It is easy for me to get caught up in the stress and get caught up in what's going wrong, instead of just realizing, I'm just somebody trying to help others. I'm trying to help this situation. And again, I just have to recenter myself.
Do you have a technique that, like, if you're in the midst of a lot of emotional situation, do you have something that you can just kind of get you back into place?
I wish that it was that automatic. Seriously, I'm working on that.
Get hypnotized.
No, I'm working on it, because it takes practice. I've learned to try to pay more attention to myself and what's going on and how I feel in the moment. And when I finally recognize that I'm elevating, is when I go, okay, breathe, stop and breathe, and think of your heart. Think of breathing into my heart. And then that reminds me of love and compassion and gratitude. I mean, I almost get teary-eyed just talking about it. But in a sense, I think that's a lot of who we all are at our core. And that's the kind of humans we want to be. And there's a reason why we're in this business. And again, it's to serve.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's personal, and I've never actually heard of that concept of just breathing into your heart. But like, I literally, as I do it, I feel different.
I think it has a name. I think it's called heart mapping or heart mapping. I'm not really sure. I think it's heart mapping. And I don't even know if you Googled it, if it would come up. But, somebody talked to me about that. And it took them several times to remind me about it, because they'd tell me about it and I'd forget. And then I'd run into them again, or start talking to me. And they can't remember we talked about this. I'm like, oh yeah. So now it's starting to be automatic, and it's like any habit.
Yeah.
You have to do it a few times before it really resonates and catches on.
I love that. No, honestly, like, I'm going to use that, because you could get in a moment and you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, and what do? How do you change the situation into a positive one, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And breathing into your heart, that's such a cool concept. And you said you don't know where you learned that? Somebody taught it to you?
Yeah, it was a friend, a person that who I know and trust, and I confide in from time to time. So, it's one of my, you might say it's one of my mentors, in that aspect of my emotional life. So that I get guidance from.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Have you heard of, and we can kind of talk all day about this too, at least I could, but, you're being in a position where you become the watcher of the situation versus the person experiencing the situation?
Oh, no, I've heard of that, but that would just it's just more I need to learn.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The concept is, which has helped me a lot, is, our ego has created this identity, which is what I project, right? Which is what I project, and I hope, let's say, Karen, you would receive, because I feel like it's safe, or it's going to fulfill certain, voids in my life. But that's not my real self. My real self is the self that transcends that identity, right? That connects you and me together. That looks at what's going on as a, we're a unit. We're all connected. And so when you operate from that space, you kind of are able to disconnect from the judgment of that situation and move past it. I mean, that's my interpretation of it.
Exactly. No, that's very good. That's very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I know we're wrapping up here, but Karen, where do you see yourself for the next 5 years?
Okay, 5 years. I mean, again, this is my 31st year and I'm getting up there. I hope in 5 years I have slowed down, actually. I mean, I'm still at a pretty steady pace here. And, I am working towards my slow down goals. Nice. And my wonderful partner here in crime, Nicole, who's in the next office, hopefully she'll be getting more into the business and doing more and more.
Yes.
And, still have other goals and dreams. I want to travel more. I want to be out more. I want to enjoy the world in this beautiful universe we live in and see more. But that takes time, and that takes time away from the business. Yeah. So the beauty of real estate for anybody listening is that you can sell real estate forever. I mean, you can do it till we've had I've known women that have sold real estate in their 90s. And they had drivers, driving them around, and they're selling real estate. I don't know if I picture myself there. Sure. But the good news is that when I'm 80, if I still want to sell 5 or 10 homes a year, I can sell 5 or 10 homes a year and make an income. I'll never be without an income. That's what's terrific about this business is we're total entrepreneurs. There is no stopping point. Sorry, there's my phone. There's no stopping point. It is what it is. So we can choose to keep the pace up, or we can choose to slow down. And I see myself, really hitting it hard for, the next couple of years, and then, hopefully pulling back a little bit. Now, nobody go out there and use that against me, but that's kind of where I'd like to.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, that's a good goal, and I appreciate you sharing that. Where can people go to visit to see more information about you, your team, your listings?
I've got a website. It's I think it's KarenHickman.com or Karen at Sells the Coast. I
see it right there. I put it on the screen. KarenSellsTheCoast.com.
And my website's not some big flashy website. It's just a website that people can contact me and they can ask questions.
Nice.
But anyway, that's or call me. Just give me a call. Email me. Yeah. Karen at sellsthecoast.com is my email.
Yes. Karen at KarenSellsTheCoast.com.
Not Karen at Karen. Karen at sellsthecoast.com.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
don't listen to me. Listen to Karen. Okay. No, for sure.
Everybody knows all these Karen jokes out there right now. Oh my gosh. That's a whole nother, this.
You know what? I didn't.
You won't even go there.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. That's true. There's a lot of Karen jokes out right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. But the only time it upset me, seriously, is when this started right at COVID, I think.
Right.
Is there was a thing out there with my professional photo on it.
No.
And it was going on Facebook, it was going on Instagram, it was going on Twitter, and it was very, very, very derogatory. But believe it or not, we got it stopped, and I haven't seen it now in the past probably 4 months. Wow. So yeah, it took some work, but I
didn't even know you could stop something like that.
I think it just got old.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, we reported it. I got somebody to take it down. So then people quit sharing it. It was mostly Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, I think. And yeah, I think it just got old. It kind of ran its course, and I'm laughing at all the Karen stuff now, but when it had my professional photo on it,
Sure, of course.
It was a real derogatory statement. It was like, oh God. But it went away. Sorry I even got into that.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, that's okay. I had no idea that was happening, but I'm glad that got resolved. And
thank goodness.
Yes. Well, Karen, you've been such a fun guest on the show. Really appreciate you. And is there anything else that maybe we can add where people can connect with you or anything like that? We covered it.
If anybody ever just wants to reach out, I'm certainly welcome for that. We are super busy. I may not get back to you just right away because, again, I moved. I'm camping out. Things are unpacked. Things are breaking. It's another whole facet that I'm going through. But you know what? You get through everything in time. It'll all come together. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy where I am.
Nice. Well, congratulations, and I wish you continued
success. Thank you for letting me be on your, or asking me to be on your show. It was a lot of fun. This isn't something I typically do, so thanks.
Well, I've been after you for a while. I've been asking you the last, couple of years here, like, hey, I would love to have you on our podcast.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, we finally did it.
Thank you for gracing us with your story, and look forward to having you again on the show.
It was a real pleasure. Thank you.